What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the belt squat because you probably heard me say, if you've watched any of my leg videos or whatever, I think the belt squat is a fantastic exercise, but there are a couple things I think you should consider when using the belt squat, so I'm going to be going over those things today, so let's get right into it. So the first thing I think you should definitely consider when using the belt squat is you have to make sure you can get a full range of motion, and ideally that's going to be getting your calves to touch your hamstrings so you can get a full stretch on the quads. I can't express this enough. The deeper you squat, the more gains you're going to get. Stretch mediating hypertrophy, it's simply better. So definitely you got to make sure you can get a machine where you can go all the way down. And I'm highlighting this because there are many belt squat machines anyway where you can't do this. For example, some of you may not know, because when I did my gym tour video for this year, we're already halfway through the year, so a lot of stuff in my gym has changed. But since then, I actually have gotten another belt squat. We actually have two now. We have one, which is the Titan Fitness belt squat, and we have another one, which is the Bells of Steel belt squat. And both of them, just the raw machine doesn't allow you to get a full stretch on the quads. So in order to do that, on the Bells of Steel one anyway, I have to add all these blocks under my feet, and because of the way the weight is positioned, that means I can't actually add regular 45-pound plates to that belt squat, or else it would hit the blocks, so I can't get a full range of motion. So I'm limited to using 25s and the smaller 25s and 10s I have, which is actually not too bad because it is actually a pretty hard movement, and I do have a lot of weights at my disposal, so I can load up enough weight to get all the way down, get that deep range of motion by using the blocks on the Bells of Steel belt squat. Now, the Titan Fitness one I have, you can't use the blocks, and that's because the way it works is it has this long rod that the weight goes up and down on, and if I use the blocks, it will actually come out of that rod when I'm taller or whatever, or more up off the ground. And if I don't use the blocks, I'll come up solid against the floor, so I can't get a super deep range of motion on the quads, which does kind of suck. And you're probably wondering, well, then why do you have two belt squats? Well, my dad really likes the Titan Fitness belt squat. I'm personally not a big fan, but he likes it for his exercises. He doesn't go really nearly as low as me, so for him, it works and he likes it, so we have two. Now I use the Bells of Steel belt squat because, of course, you know me, full ROM king, gotta get my calves to touch my hamstrings, so I use that one. Now, the only other thing I would say about the Bells of Steel belt squat I have is where the the part where you hold on to, when you unrack it, the stock version of the machine actually just has it as a bar that goes all the way across, and that really interferes because it makes you have to go way more upright. So what my dad did was he basically took that out, and I just put these little pegs so you can kind of go lean into the hole, which makes it a lot better. So if you are considering getting that belt squat, I would definitely change that, because I don't know why, but that's just what they chose when designing it, to make a full rod that goes across, but I don't really like that, so we ended up changing it. So for me, that's the first step when doing the belt squat. You have to make sure you have a machine where you can get a full range of motion. Now, both of these machines stock don't allow you to do that, and the Titan Fitness one, you can't modify anything to do that. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it, I really wouldn't recommend it, and it takes up a lot of space. That's just my opinion. The Bells of Steel one, though, if you get some blocks, you can stand on them, you can get that full range of motion. Now, but the other component is the belt itself. You need to make sure you have a really comfortable belt, because that's really where the weight is attached. And I've gone through quite a few belts which absolutely suck. This is one, for example. It just really, this belt in particular, really digs into my skin just all around. It's not, the padding here is very little. It sucks. It leaves red marks all around my waist, and it feels like dog shit. And another belt that I had, I believe this is the one that actually comes with the Bells of Steel belt squat. Don't quote me on that, but it's this belt right here, and it's a lot more comfortable in the back, but when you squat really deep on it, I guess it's not made or whatever to squat super deep. This part right here really digs into the inner portion of my thigh, and it feels really uncomfortable, like it's really digging and pressing in there. And it's like right here, this is very soft, but right there it's a lot thicker and harder, and it really digs into my thigh. It's very uncomfortable, so don't really like this belt either. However, the belt that actually comes with the Titan Fitness belt squat, this one is actually super comfortable. So the machine itself, I don't really like it, but the belt is amazing. It's the fabric, it's very squishy and bendable. It's just super comfortable. And unlike that other belt where it has that really rigid piece on the end that digs into my thighs, this, it's very thin, soft. There's no digging in the thighs. I get no marks around my waist, anything. It's just super comfortable. This is probably the best belt I've ever used for a belt squat. So if you want a two belt squat, then the Titan Fitness one is definitely amazing. Wouldn't recommend the machine, but the belt, this shit's top notch. The last thing I think you should consider when using a belt squat is, because it is a machine, most machines anyway, the way the weight is arranged, you get more tension in the contracted position versus the stretch. So, for example, with the Bells of Steel belt squat that I have, if you just use it stock without any of those pads to lift up your feet, because it's on a hinge, you're going to get most tension on the muscle when it reaches a flat like this, a 90-degree angle with the floor, or is parallel to the floor. That's where you're going to get most of the resistance anyway. And when you use it without elevating yourself, like with the blocks I have, you get more tension in the contracted position, which is not ideal for muscle growth. But when I raise myself up with the blocks, you're going to get quite a bit more tension around that middle half of the range of motion, which is better than the full contracted position, but you're still not maximizing it at the bottom, but it's really close. So I think anyway, the Bells of Steel belt squat, fantastic, because, you know, of course, it has the benefits of any belt squat where it's not axial loading, and you do get quite a bit of tension. It's almost all the resistance in the stretch, just a little bit off. So I think that's great. Now, the Titan Fitness one I have gets constant tension throughout because the weight is directly below you and it's just going up and down, whereas the Bells of Steel one is on a lever, so it's not always parallel to the ground, whereas the Titan Fitness one is. But again, I can't go all the way down. So definitely, if you are looking at a belt squat, make sure you can get a good amount of tension in that stretch position, because I know most of them anyway really prioritize the contracted position, which is not as optimal for muscle growth. But those are my 3 things to make sure are really good when you're looking at using the belt squat. I think it is, of course, a fantastic exercise because it's not axial loading, but make sure you got those 3 things in check. If they are in check, then your quads are going to absolutely blow up. Again, it also targets the quads a little bit more than the glutes because the resistance profile is in front of you. It's kind of pulling you forward. It's almost like doing a front squat, so it's going to be a little bit more quad dominant compared to glute, but that's pretty much a good thing, I would say. I mean, let's be honest, you probably want to hit your quads more than your glutes anyway for like maximum aesthetics and stuff like that as a guy. Maybe if you're a girl, you'd want it the other way around, but hey, I'm just speaking on myself, and I want to get freaking massive quads, and I think that's a great way to do it. So make sure you check those 3 boxes when you're doing the belt squat, and if you do, it's going to be amazing. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Let me know in the comments, do you guys have a belt squat? Do you use a belt squat? Do you like the belt squat? Let me know in the comments down below. And again, thank you for 700 subs. I did say this in another previous video at the end, but I can't thank you guys enough. It means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.